Caribbean Journey. I'm Algebra McCarthy, and on my journey, we're going to all the places all over the country and the Caribbean to meet people with different skills and talents, and also to visit all historical places all over the Caribbean. So come join me. Hi guys, you see me driving today? You know where we're heading? We're heading to Moruga. So let's go. We reached Lagoon Road in Moruga and we're heading towards the beach. Wow, we have a nice Catholic church around here and we're on the beach. I'm here at the Moruga beach and the breeze is amazing. They even said that Christopher Columbus landed here. What are this beach? So come up here sometimes and have a bathe. Today the breeze is amazing and sorry I didn't bring my swimsuit. Look at the water. Hi guys and welcome back. Today we are so lucky to meet these guys on the beach and we're going to talk to them about how it is here in Moruga. So here they are. You want to tell us your names and so on?
Yeah, they call me Chevy.
Chevy,
Super fisherman. Peter, fisherman.
right? You know, they say in the Bible Peter was a fisherman, you know. That's really guys. So guys, tell us about the experience here in Moruga. You have lived here all your life?
Yeah. Yeah, normally.
Okay, so what do you all do for fun? What do you all do? How you all sitting here today?
Well, as you can see, it's a nice breeze. Best places to get most practice places, Trinidad and Moruga.
So you just come here often to sit down and just chill and
Yeah, once you're doing nothing, you come here and chill. If you're doing nothing, you cooking, right? If you're outside, you're doing something for you.
okay, so you all fish and so on.
Yeah, I even that. I go and I'm walking everything to come back in.
Okay, that's
I want to
good.
work this morning.
I hope you didn't get any shark. You know me? You know we have shark episode going on here. Right, yeah. So you enjoy living in Moruga? I mean, as we were coming in, it seemed like a very quiet area. You know, yeah, and the police station is not too far from you all, so you're well covered there by the police service.
Yeah,
Right.
plenty gardeners, farmers, fishermen.
Come, they live
they
here. Right. So you get more natural products here
Yeah.
in
everything
Moruga.
natural.
You know, everything natural, that kind of thing. Right, so guys, it was nice seeing you on the beach today.
The Ganchime and the Larufin. The next river, everybody is pretty vicious.
Okay.
And our next fishing port. Those are the two.
Oh, so this is just one fishing port and then you have
Ganchime and the Larufin.
right. So we're in Grand Chimay and another fishing port is
Larufin.
Rarifin.
I left and arrived in by the police station.
Right.
It have a beach resort right next door here.
Wow. So we have a lot of
The
activities.
families can come and date,
Right,
cook line, with a
right.
shed, with a nice beach river, everything. We have a lot of beautiful things that a lot of people doesn't see.
Well, of course, we have some handsome guys here.
But a nice boat time. So number one, as we were saying, to see togetherness, come together.
That have that kind of spirit. And you know,
Anywhere you go, there are people.
yeah, so when they come here, they get a kind of family experience kind of way.
Come down here and check me over here. We are them big snappers, them big kingfisher, them
Right. You all hear that, guys? Come for your fish.
right there.
Right by the fisherman. right? If you're meeting fisherman, you're meeting Peter
Chef.
and Chevy, right? Hi guys, we're at the National Cocoa and Chocolate Museum and Heritage Complex of Trinidad and Tobago, right? With the director, Mr. Eric Lewis. Right, so here we are going to meet Mr. Eric Lewis and we are going to find out all about the history of Moruga, the artifacts, everything that is associated with Moruga, right? And its people. So let's go and meet him now. Lewis, how are you?
Very well.
It's nice of you to entertain us on our this amazing journey. So here we have different artifacts and swords concerning your museum,
Correct.
right? So I mean it sounds exciting. So we'll go in and check out some of this stuff. So let's go.
So this building that we're hearing, this was home to the Americans, who were the African Americans who fought in the 1812 and were settled up in different parts of Trinidad. More so in places like Hardbargain. Then they applied for New Grant of land, they settled up in New Grant. Then from New Grant, they were settled in the 3rd Company, 5th Company, 6th Company, and the 2nd Company in Moruga over the last 200 years. And so they were also granted their 16 acres of land in different parts of Moruga, to which their descendants now inherit and live off of the fruits of their labor and sacrifice. This building was built by the descendants of some of the Americans also, and administered by them. And when I say administered, I mean things like some of the medical assistants and medical attendants, for example, that came from America as Americans and settled up here, who also on this estate and would also assist sick and ill persons as nurse or midwives, etc. And some of the Amerindian people also worked on this plantation. The Venezuelan immigrants at the time, they weren't considered immigrants because, you know, the close relationship that Trinidad had shared with Venezuela. And most persons at the time would also be considered immigrants because everybody was just like coming into Trinidad and pouring into Trinidad, even from places like Grenada and Carriacou. So it was also home to people like that. And not to forget, this estate also requested East Indian indentured laborers to come live and work on this estate or plantation as the San Antonio estate. So we have seen in the past where persons also came back here to trace their relatives' history by going through our archival records and the P list, etc., to find their ancestors' information here on this plantation. So it's quite important to preserve and keep the culture and heritage of our people alive by having a place like this and sharing it with not just Trinidad and Tobago, but people from different parts of the world.
So this is our visitors' books. We keep record of the people who visit from almost every part of the world.
So I'm writing in the visitor's book. Right, so my name is here.
Yeah.
Where next?
So the building, well, first off, I'd like to bring attention to the building and the structure. So this building was built in the late 1800s into the early 1900s. And you will see that the materials are quite still the same. We would have done quite a lot of restorative work using similar materials that would have been used at the time period. So as we enter, you can see some of the tools, the signs, the utensils that we used to paint onto the bags before the cocoa and coffee were shipped to different parts of the world. So this is one of the La Providencia, was one of the estates in Moruga. The Robusta coffee sign here of the coffee that would have been shipped to this place down here, which is Naples. Yeah, and you have the cocoa house wheel, and these other artifacts going up, spanning all the way down this length, and furthermore on this side to my left also. So you would also see items associated with the horses and the memorabilia of the times gone by, like the different types of wares, the heaters, the irons, the coal pot, etc. And interestingly, much of these things were handmade given the time period, and to think that we had such good skill then, it makes us wonder why we lack such good skills today.
Today, wow, this is maybe we could look at some of these things because I'm kind of familiar with some, but again,
And this is your most important thing, my dear. Please come into this side. As a lady,
I'm seeing the old time days, which is not nice.
so there's a piece of cloth there for you to wash
A
your clothes.
scrubber.
Could you
Oh
show
my
us how this was
God.
used?
This was used like this. You hold it like this. You scrub. Wow, this was
See?
really a hard thing.
She is a professional at this. And how did, now I'm giving her a tour, but she's going to tell me how everything was used here. And my dear lady, are you aware of these?
Yes, this is long time heater. You all see this, guys?
And your coal pot?
Yes, you
So
used to
put your
put this
coals
on,
in
this,
there?
on the fire, and you get a pot and wipe it off, and you and your clothes. Wow.
And then this is the real heavy duty ironing heater over on this side. And this is your ironing board. And your ironing board was not made of metal, it was made out of wood.
Wood.
Yeah, so you still have this. And they'll put the coals inside of this one, on the inside of it. And then the smoke would come out through here, the smoke,
Yes.
etc. Yeah.
Young people, I hope you're all watching. Right, you all have it nice today.
And these are your old pails. Your old pail over here as well. And this big jar here would also be used for multi-purpose, for storing water, or even when they're making the pickled meats and so on long ago to cure the meats as well. So
And
that
things
use
like
this
pigtail and all that.
pigtail.
Yeah.
Well, not just pigtail, it'll make like salt pork, salt beef, salt
Yeah,
fish
everything.
in large amounts and store it in there, and you'd have food for a long time. So over here,
This was also an important garment.
yeah,
You used to use that lace.
mhm,
That was beauty long time.
that was the beauty, the style and fashion too.
Yes. This here.
This is the cocoa, this scaler would be used to weighing the cocoa and coffee beans before it's shipped to wherever it needed to go to. So cocoa and coffee from this estate would have been sent to different parts of Europe, Canada, and America.
You see the long time sewing machine as well. I believe they used to use
Yeah, that's
a
the
foot.
sewing machine. You have the foot machine and
Foot
you have the
machine.
hand sewing machine. And this was generally used by every woman who could afford a machine like that in the days.
Yes.
If not, you'd have to do everything by hand.
Wow.
So,
And our favorite lamp.
and your favorite
I
lamp.
actually have one of those today.
Well, we have the lamp collection over here. So over on this side.
So we're going over on the other side now. I actually almost got scared. Look this way, sir. Even my cameraman almost got scared. There's a man standing here, but it's actually a mannequin. Oh my gosh. And his favorite hat is a bow.
And see, he has the gun in his hand, well on his side. And so this basically gives a little depiction of the plantation overseer, and you know what he would look like and how he would dress, and,
Wow.
and you know that he would have the gun. So on this building, he had up to 13 guns in the gun room, and 13 guns in one of the rooms, 2 guns upstairs, in addition to the 13. So they'll have 15 guns here, like similar make.
Wow, and what was actually used in this gun?
Well, the regular guns, well, from all the different era of guns that they would have had, would have been lodged here at this estate over the last, you know, before predating 100 years ago. So here we have the different lanterns and lamps and so on, all the different devices that would be used for sharing light, you know, which was quite common in almost every household.
Yes, of
Every
course.
household would have had at
Every
least
household
one.
would have had a lamp for.
And what's interesting is that we have almost the evolution of the lamps into the lantern and the gas lantern, etc., which showed that. So probably at one time everybody thought, okay, this would be forever, but then you had the light bulb coming in and electricity.
Yes.
So this is your kitchen, madam, and welcome home.
Let me step in. Wow. Sometimes days are good, but some facilities are better today.
Well, if you were to bring back the old time days, this is what your kitchen would look like. So this is your food carrier. Basically, it's like would be used like your lunch kit, so you could stock and store different types of food in either compartments.
Keep it warm and
This is your kerosene stove. So your pot will be up here. However, and there'll be some kind of grill thing on top there, I guess. So you can cook your food here. And then you had your coal pot, which would be generally used for outside purpose. And then you bring whatever you bring inside that comes in here. So this is your little setup. And as I say, handmade. So I guess people long ago would never think that people today would buy a Bilner. So they would make it. So this is like a homemade Bilner. And you can see that it's, you know, really nicely well made from Mora.
Mora wood.
Yeah, Mora wood. And here you have your collection set up here. But this is basically how the houses long ago would be. And I would tell you, this is the original kitchen space of this barracks area. So this table was right here. There was a few pots and plates and so on exactly in this spot, like in this little area here.
And you notice we still have some of these brands going on up to today.
And your lovely clip.
Yeah, Clayman and Cadbury.
And this was a beer bottle back then.
Yes.
And beer bottles like these were last made in 1920. These jars here are the Glasgow jars, and these were also last made in 1920 because the Glasgow jar manufacturing company went into closure at that time. So these are some of the enamels. Some of them were made in Czechoslovakia, and others were made in China. And I say Czechoslovakia because that was that then. It's not the same thing
It's
now.
not the same now.
And this is one of your washing jugs for your face basin.
Wow.
And this here is your old-time oven, your stove top oven.
We actually had an oven like this, and we used to put fire under it to bake.
Correct, that's how it
So-
would be used. And same oven, the microwave was designed after this.
After this.
Yeah, so when the young people visit now say, well, guess what this was used for? They say, it looks like a microwave. Good start. And then we let them know, well, it was an oven.
We are so lucky today.
Yeah.
Just-
So over here we have some of the teapot cups and your, you know, your homemade dipper to get your
Yes.
stuff out. Yeah, and the different enamel teacups. A nice flowery enamel teacup like this one. Yeah, and this too was made in China. And these different mugs, and your safe for storing your cakes and breads and all your valuable kitchen delights. Let's put it that way. So, you know, this is original as well. And your different types of bottles that was used back in the day. So these were the olive oil bottles here. Then you have some wine bottles, you know, rum bottles and little flask and so on. Look at this nice little one, it's one of my favorites.
Really cute.
The whiskey bottle and goblet. And this, some children would call this the Punisher, because children,
Grater.
the grater was also used as a
Punishment.
punishment device or torturing device for when children were
I've
being
had that
very, very
experience.
naughty. You know? I mean, today we would say it's child abuse. But this is what the people from the children from long ago
Yes.
went through. This is one of the towers that we found on the estate. And you could see it's very, very old.
Yes.
And whoever the person was made a lot of roti. So you could see the center is burnt out. So Althea, do you make so much roti that you burn
Not
out the
at
center
all.
of the tower?
Not at all.
You know? See, this is very, very interesting. The bottles, right? Just a little lesson. So the bottles, we could tell the age of the bottles based on the bottle make, right? And underneath here is called the puntal scar. So you see that little point there is a puntal scar. And then you could also tell from the rim top of the bottle how it was. So this was made from a two-piece mold, and I can tell that based on this line coming down here, right? And then it will come around here. And it was made like this balloon here. And this would be just like from the 1800s.
That's strong butter there.
Yeah. End of that lesson.
This is the up-to-date grater today. Because I have one like this at home.
Yeah, but this one's still a little shaky.
You did a lot of it. Oh, this guy have me confused in this corner here with this gun.
If he's dead or alive,
He's standing
don't
there.
worry,
full.
he's still standing watch of the estate. Huh? If he could shoot or not, we wouldn't know.
This I remember.
So now I'd like to take you all to the archival collection, and then we go to the, or we could go to the tack room, where we have the items from the horses.
Let's follow him.
So over here, my dear, we have the archives of Moruga, I call it, and here we have the estate labor pay list, all the books that basically give the information of the people who lived and worked on plantations, not just in Moruga, but throughout Trinidad. Yeah. So it gives that information of the day-to-day basis and operation of the estate and the day-to-day labor that was done by the workers. So a person can come here and find their family's name and see what their relative would have done
Wow.
over their work time here. And some people would have worked here like 10, 15, 20, 30, 40
This is like
years.
a family
etc.
tree.
Some of them could date their family trees like this
Yeah.
here. So over here you see like all the names like Alfonso, Beckles.
I am a Beckles.
So you see Ben Beckles, and he would have worked here in 1958. Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have Lakshman, Alfonso, Johnson, Lindwall,
See, it's
you know,
supposed to have called
Sanka,
that name.
Samson. So yeah, well, you are supposed to have seen it. And you know what's quite interesting? Sometimes the names that we have the books open onto, these are the families that visit. So we
Wow.
still have over 100 books that's in storage that we're going to put out on display later on. But think about how many other names that aren't there. But the names that are open,
Yes.
you all come to see it.
Yeah, because some already in storage, so we're not able to see everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this one is like, this book is from 1930s, 1930s again, 1950s, 50s, what year? 1960s over here.
Yes.
And look at the amount of money people worked for. Big Sansing, Bola Singh. So for the fortnight in the 60s, a person can get up to what?
$11.68.
$11.68 in the
Oh my
1960s. But let's take a look at the 30s. Come up here.
You
Come
go
over
for
to
that
this
for
side.
Sometimes an hour.
You can't even check the hours
You
or
can't even
anything.
check the hours.
So here
Wow.
in the 1930s, you could see, what is the person's name? Let's say Mohammed. Mohammed took care of the coffee. He got 30 cents, 25 cents a day, 20 cents one day, 30 cents another day, 10 cents another day.
All
At the end of the fortnight, Mohammed was paid $1.85. Another person was paid $1.60. Another person was paid $2.40. Another person got 75 cents. Some persons got 75 cents, 75 cents. Some of them $1 for the fortnight. And this was considered good and fair
Good and
wage
fair
at the
wage.
time. And you know, keeping in mind that although Trinidad was, you know, no longer, you know, under slavery, or that
Colonized, yeah.
it was colonized, and during that colonized time, the people weren't treated fairly. And I mean, now if you compare the things that people were able to do with that money then, and what we are to do with what people in this present day are able to do with the money now, it doesn't add up. So it seems as though, although the wages seemed meager, people still sent their children to school, bought property, build houses with that.
Yes.
Today,
They do.
and bought acres of land, right? And today it's even more so difficult to even buy one lot of land, or even send your children to school or have decent meals, I guess. Yeah. So this is the next geological map of Trinidad here, and this shows like some of the different Eocene areas, etc., which basically has to do like where has the agate or the metamorphic rocks or the Cretaceous areas, etc. And that would help you, well,
Determine where these places are.
well, determine the soil type and so on, and what's good for what and what's good or not in certain areas. Now, this estate was also an estate of thousands of acres, over 2,000 acres in different parts of Trinidad. Now, we go to this map. So this is an old map, and if you look at this, you would see a lot of American names. So what does that tell us? This is also evidence of the number of acres that were given to the Americans, right, which generally would be 16 acres. But if you look here, you would see names like Weston, McIntosh, Podlin, Daniel. I'm just calling out the American names here now. Huggins over here again. So you see Alfred Huggins here, and Alfred Huggins was, Hazel Manning is a descendant of Alfred Huggins. So this is where the American territories or lands distributed to them began from in these areas heading back northwards. And we were able to only find that out when we acquired these cadastrals and maps and so on. So take a look at this one. So this one is the estate labor pay list for, not the estate labor, this is the analysis of expenditure for Cannery Estate. So Cannery used to be a small village over 100 years ago. So about that time, 100 years ago, it was acquired by the Herreras. He bought out all the different parcels of land, conglomerated it, and made it into one super estate of 160 acres, and by that time bought everybody out. And now today, nobody lives there.
Wow.
Just as one of the former ministers says. Nobody lives there. So this here is the tack room. So this is where we have the items associated with the horses, donkeys, and mules, and the cattle. This is a cattle skull, and this is the horse skull. These are the horse. This is one of the horseshoes. So this horseshoes was made on this estate. Yeah, take a look. You can hold it. So this was made by the Americans. Yeah, and this sort of because they knew already how to do good horsemanship. So one of the based on the records, we saw that the Teasdales and Taylor basically did the horseman work on the estate and the farriering and the blacksmith work as well.
This is also fun. It's quite heavy.
It's quite heavy,
Yeah.
and this is the iron horseshoes. So the iron ones would be also made to balance, like, how the horse rides and how it trots.
Wow, they had a lot of job to do.
Yeah, and these are the bridle or the bit which goes into the horse's mouth to drive the horse, turn it left or right, and to also bring the horse to a halt when you're riding.
What gadget is this here?
This was used for, like, by the whoever is preparing like jewelry and stuff, and it was used to like blow air, so that it would use it up and down, so it blows the air into the little furnace area to make more fire.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is so interesting. We had one like this. We had one like this.
A little stereo,
Yeah.
next to the old-time heater there. For me, one of the more interesting things that we have here is this saddles collection. And the saddle collection, it's one of the only set of it that I've seen in any of our Caribbean museums. So here we have, this is the horse saddle. These are the horse saddles. This is a frame of the horse saddle. This is the mule saddle, this one and this one. And this is how the cocoa bags would be hooked up on the both sides of the saddle before, when you're going into the cocoa field or the coffee field. So children would also get a ride in the baskets to go into the field and a ride to come, they would have to walk back out because it would be filled with cocoa and coffee.
Right, right.
So think about this, you get to go in the field with daddy riding on the donkey
have
or
to
the
walk
mule,
back.
and you have to walk back out. This one here is the donkey saddle. So it's called a donkey crook here in Trinidad because it grows across like this, crow, right? Like a cross,
Right.
yeah? So in the French it's called,
So that goes on the donkey's back?
this goes on the donkey back, and then they fill padding
Sure.
or bedding, they call it bedding, on the inside and outside of the saddle. So then it's cushioned by the bedding. Bedding meaning the old cloth, the old clothes, etc. that would be used in the homes.
That seemed very heavy. It was made out of wood.
Yeah, well, light wood, cedar.
Hi guys, this is a representation of all the grand chiefs, right, who has passed through this lineage of the Amerindian. So this represents all the past and present in the Moruga community.
Okay. So my dear Althea, welcome to the Palace of the Indigenous. This will be the new palace for the first people. So then also the other part of it that's a bit bigger than this side. So that's over the next side. And then the third part of it is under the cocoa house, and the fourth part will be to the upper level.
Like you all are seeing here, guys.
So take a look through this window here.
Make sure you all come and visit the museum. You're doing a good job.
And over there we have the pitch pools and the little mud volcanoes over here in that area. And all of this around. Yeah, little pitch pools and mud
Yes,
volcanoes.
you're seeing it just like in Hindustan up there when on our last trip.
So everything that you see is here.
Quite a big area.
Yes. Beautiful, is it not?
It's beautiful. Hi, we're at another stage of the museum now. We're at the Moruga First Natives area, right, of the southern region. And here we're going to find out more about the ancestors, right, related to the Moruga Museum and the Moruga Estates. So we're here.
So welcome to the Great Hall of the Grand Chief. And up here we have the old chief who is passed now. I thought to the Moruga First Natives of the southern region. We welcome you to our ancient capital. So let's explore our indigenous culture here in Trinidad. So my dear lady, over here we have some of the indigenous clothing, and this is called the how. What is it called?
How?
Very good. So my greeting to you is Jakeda. So over here we have the how. Remember? So this is, go ahead, try it on, show them how you do it.
Wow. But never wanna.
So this was made of the palms, the Morich palms. So basically, this represents all of the indigenous culture, and it's obviously handmade. So basically, what they do is they shred the palms and they wash it.
Look at this. Okay. Wow. How do I look, guys?
You look great. So you're getting the how on, the
Right.
indigenous skirt. Nice, fits good. And now you can try on one of the top.
I'm trying on one of the bras. Guys.
So that's that.
Wow.
So you can take your fishing basket. So this here
Close
is.
to me.
No, you're not finished yet. So this is your basket. So the woman would also go and fetch food and catch fish. And this is to prepare your cassava.
Wow.
And I will sing. Well, I wouldn't sing. I'll be beating the drum and play the music so she can. So the ladies, so you'll go around here, pick up, get all your stuff, and come up.
This is so much fun.
Hey, Jakeda. So say Jakeda.
Jakeda.
So Jakeda is also the greeting that we extend to our visitors. And that's a greeting for a single person. So if it's a group of people, I will greet you and say, Ya Karibiara. And that means greetings to all of you and welcome. So, Ya Karibiara, Tamatika, Ya Karibiara, Kokotuka. And I just said in the Waro language, welcome to all of you and welcome to this place. And you're always welcome to visit Jakeda. And thank you and all goodness to you. So this, as I said, is a Greek hall for the first peoples, and it's where we keep the heritage and culture of our
ancestors alive, especially what you would consider, people long ago would consider Caribs and Arawaks, which we say Kalinagos and Loconos. So you can see some of that cultural presence here. But more than cultural presence, we have the throne room, which is still in use, and which is successive of the Grand Chief, Paul Nevada, former Grand Chief, of whom I also succeeded last year, becoming the Grand Chief for the first people sovereign nations in Trinidad and Tobago. And that also means that we have other, alliances and connections regionally and internationally.
Wow, that's really congratulations on that honor.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you. And so you'll see like the plaited palms, the staff, the headpieces, etc. up there. You see the throne, and this represents everything for the indigenous culture and community. So sometimes, it's still in use and we use it for blessing of the children or council meetings, general council meetings, community meetings, community meetings in the indigenous community. So we have that sort of stuff going on here. So if a member asks for the blessing to take place up there, as well as the smoke ceremonies, etc. So one of the important things was when I became chief, becoming chief, the enthronement ceremony occurred. Well, obviously here, although the coronation ceremony took place in Port Spain, and an important aspect of that was marking the country from north to south and coming back to Moruga to show that this is where the seat of the Grand Chief is.
So you actually sat in.
Yeah, so we actually had functions and ceremonies right here. He did not sit on this throne, so this throne would represent my reign in this time and in the future. And on the side here, that's an artifact. The stone, you see it's carved. You can see like the yeah, so you can see that it's carved out here. And it basically represents you see it, like you see the eyes and you see it, so that represents like all of the ancestors over the thousands of years, whom I would also represent and succeed as chief. And so you see like the tiger cat skin and the feathers and so on. So in our culture, you're not allowed to kill any creatures for its eyes or feathers or bones. So it must come to you through nature, naturally. Nope.
Kill any creature that is part of the natural aspect of life.
No. So it must come to you through there, right? Because you're not allowed to come up here. But this is also the chief box. So this is what I would wear. So this would be considered the regalia. And it's woven handmade. And these are most important to my reign. These are wheel teeth, right? So these are wheel teeth, and these were ethically acquired because the wheel died. And this was one of the wheels that I saved, which swam out to sea, which I swam out to sea with it. And after a few hours, I was called back again to retrieve it because someone had happened it and stuck it to the side, puncturing the lungs. So here, and this would be now the chieftaincy. So, Chakira. Yeah, so whenever I wear this represents everything, the people past, present, and future, and represents what the work that I'm doing and whichever I still have to do to raise awareness and bring, cultural appreciation for the indigenous heritage and indigenous cultures of Trinidad and Tobago, the Americas and the whole, in whatever we do. And when we see the Americas, we mean, well, North America, South America, the Caribbean region, etc., wherever indigenous communities would have settled. But more so, those in this region of the Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and the Caribbean. Any further requests? Where this is coming? I'll keep this one to explain the artifacts.
Yeah.
Right, so now I'd like to take you over here to see the artifacts. So this is so over here we have a remnant of the artifacts, which are basically Some of them these here are over 2,000 years old. So this here, and these are zoomorphs, and they are called Adorno species. So these would have been used by a shaman or a shaman or a chief in the chief space, right? So you have these here, and this here would also be another type of ceramic of the time period, which basically was like grated shells or crushed up shells and the earth made together to make these pieces. This was a baked piece. These are some of the rims, the top of the jars, and so on. Yeah, and over here we have some of the bones that we found on the archaeological site in 2013 in Princeton. Now, this is not just artifacts found in Moruga, but some of the artifacts that we have unearthed and found and discovered in different parts of the country of Trinidad, and some of them are from Tobago and St. Lucia as well, from other archaeological societies which would have done a lot of work over the last few decades. But this is just a remnant of the artifacts that we have on display. Yeah, so how you find these three?
Yeah, so you see bacon come from generation.
From generation, so it was really, it's like using the kiln process, and we can tell that based on this dark ash looking color on the inside of the ceramic here.
Basketry.
And this basket was woven by the indigenous community as well. So this would have taken like a week to make. Yeah, and this is made from the how and the lilies of the river. This one was made with using the one of the palmas parts and basically shredded. And then you plait these together. This here is used for making the cassava bread. Right, so basically first you make the flour first. So you grate the cassava or refine it in whichever form or way. Then you fill it in here like that. You compact it in there, and then you stretch it and wring it.
Wow.
So you also have to make a new one of this.
Do you make any of these?
Yeah, so we also prepare the indigenous food. So we make like the ruku chicken, the cassava bread, etc., the flour. Chocolate is also something that is indigenous to the indigenous people. So we have the cocoa pod here. Yeah, so this is your cocoa pod, and this is your mortar and pestle with your cocoa beans already here. So I'll have a next job for you. I'd like you to pound this up. So
I actually used to pound in a mortar. I'm from the good old days too. Coffee, that is. So pound coffee in the mortar.
Harder, and you'll smell. And basically the aim is to turn this cocoa beans into the powder. So you're going to turn the powder, and after it turns into the powder, it becomes something like a butter. And after it becomes a butter, then you roll it together and make the cocoa ball.
Yes. It's nice. Smells. Whew. Come down to the museum and found some.
Come down to the museum and found some.
Yeah.
Strong, aromatic flavor of the Trinidad cocoa beans. Yes, guys, and Trinidad is also known to have the best cocoa in the world. And keep in mind, this is something that was initiated by the first people of the indigenous community.
It's really, really smells good. You don't need to come down here and actually get the scent of it.
And the full experience. Now,
Still in my day.
if it wasn't so hot, we would make some cocoa tea. But it's a hot day, so to spare our existence, we would pass.
Yes, we will pass. But I'll take some home. I'm sure I'm going to get some with that.
Sure, you will. So you will listen. And over here, what we have here, these are the costumes that our visitors would use on this side over here to dress and to role play. So now we're going to be preparing you for another scene.
Whew.
So get ready.
I'm going to take off my clothes here.
here at the Great Hall of Moruga and of the Grand Chief, this is where we keep the heritage and the culture of our ancestors alive through reenactments, through festivals, ceremonies, and most of all, by accommodating visitors on their trips to Moruga. And so one of the things that we have, so you see Althea is dressed in this beautiful regalia, and she is now dressed as the Queen Isabella of Spain. And because it was Isabella who granted Columbus permission to go out into the world and to conquer all things, and our people, the indigenous people, was also part of that. So we keep that piece of the heritage alive, where the indigenous community also show their resistance through keeping all the, the clothes and the arts and the ceramic pieces and the artifacts and the baskets and the weaving. We keep that alive through actual demonstration ever so often. And through the reenactment, we tell the story of what all people would have gone through. And so Althea, I look forward to showing you guys around more, and hopefully we see in the future. Perhaps we can attend a function.
Of course. We want to encourage people to come down to the Moruga Museum, right? Cocoa Museum, and you're going to meet the Grand Chief, the Prince of Moruga, right? And he's going to welcome you. Right here, you can be able to taste how real, the cocoa bean actually tastes, right? So come down and visit, because we had a grand time here with the Grand Chief.
It could be nothing less than grand whenever you meet him.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
So see you next time on Althea'S Amazing Journey. Bye for now. Hi guys, thanks for viewing my show. Don't forget to like and share. And those who want to support, the link below has all the information. Contact. See you next time.